from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studios. It's the Ramsey Show, where we help people do work they love, build wealth, and create actual amazing relationships. Thanks for joining us, America. The call is free, 888-825-5225. As I said, it's free, and some say the advice is worth exactly what you pay for it. Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, and host of the Ken Coleman Show. Ken Coleman is my co-host today. He is the Ramsey personality in charge of getting your butt to work. I mean, he helps you get jobs and work, and he will put the lash across. Get to work. Yeah, that's it. And so 888-825-5225 will help you with your career aspirations, your job, your money, and your life. It's what we do here. 888-825-5225. Annie starts this hour in Sacramento. Hi, Annie. Welcome to the Ramsey Show. Oh, it's Ann. Hi, Ann. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Sure. How can we help?
I just have a question. I'm in a quandary, and I would appreciate your advice. So I recently received about $350,000 of inheritance money from my sweet, hardworking, industrious parent.
Wow.
And I really don't want. I really want to maximize the potential of it. And I'm in my mid-50s. My husband's in his late 50s. You know, it's time to, for sure, make sure that we have. Anyway, we would like to buy some real estate, but we're looking outside of California because California is very landlord unfriendly, and also the multiples anywhere around our house, you just can't find the multiples for the maximum return on investment and for building wealth. So what do you think? Because I know that you tend to have to have real estate close by.
Yeah, long-distance landlording generally doesn't end well. Because it's just very hard to keep your eyes on the property, your eyes on, even if you have a property management firm, your eyes on the property management firm. You need to drive by your property every so often. I drove by one of ours the other day, and I went, good Lord, we need to cut those bushes, and for some reason, no one else had thought that. So no one watches it quite like you do, even if you've got a good property management team, and I do. That's the problem, is you just never see it. It's out of sight, out of mind, and it could be completely torn down, and you would never know it unless somebody told you. And that's the thing that bothers me about it. So I don't disagree with how you got to your question. The multiples are crazy, and the laws are crazy. It is California, after all. And so, I mean, it's just crazy land. So what do I know? But yeah, I love you people in California. But anyway, some of you. And anyway, so that's the thing. I don't know. Have you got any debt?
No.
None. Good.
No, our house is paid off, and we don't like that. We're kind of like you that way. We just don't like it.
Yeah. So if I were going to do it, and I wouldn't do it, but you have good reasons for considering it in your case. If I were going to go, I would want something that I could access and get to frequently for other reasons. Like, have you got relatives in a town that is got better multiples in a good, strong real estate market?
I don't know.
Reasons to go visit is what I was looking for. Okay. No, you don't then. Okay. Because my sister and I go see her 3 times a year, and she lives in Phoenix. Okay, well, let's talk about Phoenix, then, or something like that. But you don't. So that's the. Yeah. But an airport connection to Sacramento, which is there's a lot of. That's not a problem, assuming the other end works. And something where you're going to bop over there and go, hey, we're going to go over there twice a year, and stay in a hotel and enjoy the place, and we're going to San Antonio, enjoy the Riverwalk, and we're going to have a property there, or something. But you got to have a reason to go be around it, because you're putting a very precious portion of your money. Otherwise, I would just do some mutual funds.
Yeah, Dave, that's my question, Dave, is the return on that, on the rental property, because you've got a lot of them, you understand that, versus the return on investing the way we teach with this sum of money. Where does she come out best?
Yeah, if you get a well-run rental property, it's more hassle,
right?
But you're going to make more money on a well-run rental property than you're on mutual funds, but it's a lot more hassle. Yeah. So, and you got extra risk here because now we've got it in this mythical city that I just made up. So we'll call it San Antonio. And so, you're going to be bopping over there and, or what would be closer? Boise. You could jump over to Boise, right? That's not a bad jump from Sacramento. That kind of a thing. And you could do that, but you need to go, we're going to buy it in Jackson Hole because we go skiing twice a year, or whatever. I don't know. But just think about where you're doing that. Otherwise, I would keep it real simple and just go to mutual funds. You're going to make a little less return, but you're going to have a lot less risk because of your situation being out of state and that kind of a thing. I do not buy properties out of state except for toys that I live in and play in, but not for rental. And so I've got properties, but they're stuff that we go hang out at. It's not, we don't rent them. And so, and that's a pain in the butt because I got to get people to work on them.
Yeah, right.
Because the more stuff you own, the more repairmen you have to know. It's a rule.
So you're telling me when you drove by that house the other day and saw the bushes, you didn't pull the truck over and pulled out my little chainsaw
trimmer
and
I
just
didn't get my chainsaw out of my truck?
You're telling me you didn't do that?
I was close. I almost went back to the barn and got a chainsaw, but no, I'll let somebody else do it. And man, it looks better too. It looks like it got a haircut and it needed one.
Yeah.
Yeah, those old ugly bagworm bushes that grow up and take over the whole corner of the house?
Yes.
They're cute when you put them out,
They are.
but they're not cute when they grow up.
They get gnarly.
Beasties.
That's right.
So, just destroyed the whole curb appeal. It was awful. So, real estate is a wonderful place to put money, folks, especially right now. It's a good time to buy real estate, whether you're doing it as an investment or whether you're buying a home.
Even with the rates where they are.
Yeah, even with the rates where they are. Rates go back down, just refinance if you're borrowing. But you're not going to borrow to invest if you're around here anyway. But the point is you can make more money on real estate. It's good.
Yeah.
But you've got to choose it carefully, and it needs to be something that's a predictable outcome. Don't try to get these unique properties. Unique property means very limited market.
Yeah, right.
That's what that means. And when you that means it's going to have very limited resale value because you have limited customers when you get ready to resell it. So its increase in value is very limited.
So do those tend to be more risky?
We call them white elephants.
Right.
Yeah, of course they're. It's a very unique. It's a cool property, but you buy a highly contemporary piece of architecture in a town that's a Civil War town, and it's full of antebellums.
Right.
You just bought a white elephant, Bubba.
That's true.
Or vice versa. You put up an antebellum in the middle of a deadgum,
modern neighborhood
town full of contemporaries. Same situation. You just built yourself a white elephant, and it's a problem. You're gonna get yourself in a mess. But it's a good question. Thank you for calling in. We'll help you anytime. You jump in here. That's what we're for. This is the Ramsey Show. We've been doing business at Ramsey for more than 30 years. By now, we're a well-oiled machine, but it wasn't always that way. Yes, we've always had a vision, always had determination, and a drive to help people. But what we didn't have was one central place to access all our numbers so that we could get further ahead or quickly see when we needed to pivot. We were always jumping back and forth between different systems and spreadsheets. So when NetSuite by Oracle helped us wrangle our revenue, inventory, expenses, and more into one place, it was a game changer. And NetSuite's #1 cloud financial system can help your business gain the same visibility because businesses thrive on timely data. And NetSuite's real-time analytics can help your business have immediate access to your numbers daily so you always know where you stand and you can move quickly. So go to netsuite.com/Ramsey today and set up a free product tour. That's netsuite.com/Ramsey. Ken Coleman, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author of the book Paycheck to Purpose, is my co-host today. Today's question of the day is sponsored by Neighborly, your hub for home services. As the weather warms up, Neighborly can help you find local service pros like the Grounds Guys, 5-Star Painting, and Mosquito Joe, which you would need in Nashville. To turn your, we've got mosquitoes the size of eagles here. And to turn your outdoor space into your favorite space and help you find all the help you need at neighborly.com. We're so honored to have them as a sponsor now. And April is National Financial Literacy Month. All month long, teachers and students in classrooms across America are taking the time to talk about the importance of learning money skills.
Today's question comes from Alex in Minnesota. How do you create a budget that works when you are young and your income is inconsistent and unpredictable? So on this one, Dave, we've got a young person, presumably a student, who doesn't have a lot of household expenses. He's living at home potentially. And what we want to focus on there is, what are your expenses? What are mom and dad requiring of you? Are you doing gas money, helping out with some of your insurance, whatever that is? What are your spending habits, things you're saving for? And I think the budget there, Dave, is kind of created around that when you don't have a livelihood or the four walls that we teach.
Exactly. And that's what we teach kids, students, in the high school curriculum, Foundations in Personal Finance. It's taught in 48% of the high schools in America now. Our high school curriculum is. And what we teach folks there, Alex, is exactly what Ken said. Your purpose of doing a budget when you're in high school or junior high school, either one, is not to become wealthy. It's not to become a master budget person. It's to start to build the muscle of telling your money what to do instead of wondering where it went, which, by the way, is all a budget is. Adults devise a plan and follow it. Children, regardless of their age, do what feels good. And so if you're 52 and you do what feels good, you are, by definition, emotionally a child. You're immature. I deserve it. Oh, shut up. You don't deserve anything you haven't earned. That's when you deserve it. You're not entitled to a new car. I work so hard. Oh, really? You're the only one, you whiner. Okay, so that's a child, regardless of if they're 12 or they're 52. And we hear them all the time saying stuff like that. Well, you don't know. Yes, I do know. I've done it all. I'm old, okay? And so I've seen it all, heard it all. The thing is, so the whole thing here, Alex, is to get you the other side of that and say, okay, as an adult, because we're training young people to be good adults, and training young people to be good adults involves telling your money what to do instead of wondering where it went. And so all you got to do is go this month, or I want to buy a car by September. Okay, how are we going to do that?
Yeah. And so you begin to go, okay, if it's a $5,000 car, my mom and dad are going to match whatever I come up with. So let's say they're going to match your $2,500. And you begin to say, all right, how much money do I need to make?
Got 5 months. I need $500 a month.
So I got to get after it. And this is interesting, Dave. What I love about financial literacy, and something that you just said I want to add to, the reason we have movements right now among a lot of young people on social media that's called the anti-work movement is because they've never been taught real financial literacy. Because this young man, you take this question right here, and he begins to understand what we just said to him. He begins to tell his money what to do, the budget as Dave just laid out. And here's what happens. Individual responsibility flourishes when you get taught that you can have enough money. But this anti-work movement, all this junk that's out there, is coming from young people who've never been taught how to manage their money, and thus they don't have enough. And then they begin to say, I work too hard. I don't have enough money. I want the government to supply me the money. And I'm not trying to make this political, because it's not. It's actually sociological. When you understand how to handle money as a young person, with what we teach in Financial Literacy Month and everything we're doing, parents,
you control your destiny.
If
you'll get off your little butt.
And then they become hard workers because they go, I like what money allows me to do.
I can be generous. I can be helpful.
That's right.
I can be calm. I don't have to be pissed off all the time.
That's true.
And I'm not broke.
Yeah, right.
You know, it's just, this is all goes together. See, I thought the anti-work movement was because college professors were students of Karl Marx and had passed that along to college students and reinforced the fact that they got a participation trophy instead of keeping score when they were playing soccer and they were sick.
Well, you just nailed the two other reasons, right? But the reasons those messages stick is because when you don't have any money and you're broke, those messages make more sense.
Yeah.
But to somebody who's got money, you go, what are you talking about? That's a pay cut.
If you're
the
5
government
years old,
pays
you
me.
know it's more fun to score.
There's that.
You just do.
Right.
I mean, you don't have to be a psychologist to figure this one out. You smile more when you score than when you don't score. So go score. That's what work is. It's score. Go score.
It's what it is. Yeah.
Just go score.
Yeah.
Go put the ball in the hoop, man. That's what you do.
Right.
And you're going to have more joy and more dignity and more choices when you do that. Now, Alex has not got that problem. He's a guy asking a question on this show.
He's ready to make
brilliant.
money.
He's a great young man. And so, I mean, we got a lot of great young people out there.
That's right.
But we do have a group of participation trophy graduates
That's exactly
who
right.
are intent on making mediocrity their goal. And it's a problem.
It is. And by the way, this is what leads to credit card debt at an all-time high, student loans all-time high. I've got to rely on somebody else to give me money so that I can get the life I want. And that is counterintuitive.
Well, and it leads to record numbers of 28-year-olds living in their mother's basement.
7 million men not working because they don't like their job status.
And as the lady on CBS News said the other day, that's highly unattractive.
That's right.
Hard to get a date.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
You don't feel real eligible because you're not.
Right.
Yeah. He's a dreamer, Daddy. Yeah, that's right. He is. That's all he does.
That's right.
Yeah, it means you're going to live in my basement. You're dating a dreamer. Oh, God help me.
Yeah.
I'd love for you to say he's a doer. Please tell me he's a doer.
Yes.
He has big dreams, and he's doing things to make those dreams come true. That I like. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
You see, this is highly attractive. You know, it turns out mediocrity is really kind of smelly.
Well, it's miserable. They can try to put another label on it, but a person who's
You
leading
act
a
like you're
mediocre
cool.
life,
I'm
you act like you're
beating the
happy.
man
Yeah.
by being a communist.
Yeah, well, you'll notice that anybody who says these kind of things on social media is always angry. I tell you what you never see, an angry capitalist, an angry person with a lot of money and options. You see anger where I feel limited, and they start by being limited financially because we don't teach financial literacy. Ramsey Solutions does. That's why we're in schools. But if we don't teach this, then what happens is they come through the system, Dave, and the system tells them, you need a credit card so that you have a backup plan.
You need to get a student loan
need a credit
so you can
score
get a $200,000 in debt to get a degree in left-handed puppetry.
so you can be successful.
And you can be a barista.
Right. And oh, by the way, the only people winning in that system are the people giving the loans and the credit cards, interestingly enough. They're the ones that are winning big. Credit cards at an all-time high.
I'm going to stick it to the man. I'm going to make sure he gets really rich.
Right. And they're upset against rich people. The people who ought to be upset against are the financial purveyors of all of the mediocrity and frustration in your life. See, that's the game. If you want to be mad at somebody, it's the people who make really awesome commercials selling you your credit card. They're the best commercials on TV.
Now, here's the thing. If your job sucks, I mean, you're not in Russia.
No,
Just go get another one.
that's right. That's right.
If your boss sucks,
right.
get you another one.
That's exactly right.
Why
here's
is this hard?
Yeah, well, the gig economy is exploding right now, Dave. Freelance work, people can get out of debt faster. We've had nurses call in on this program.
I don't like what Walmart pays.
That's
Well,
right.
don't work
They
for
go
Walmart.
work somewhere else. We got an unbelievable job economy right now. 3.6% unemployment.
My
wages
goal
are
was
up.
never to work in McDonald's. It was never a goal of mine.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Unless it's the one I
By the
own.
way,
in,
that's
unless
no
it's the one
one's
I
goal.
own in St. Thomas. But
Right.
no, thank you.
Right. And that's no one's goal. But see, we live in a world now where you don't have to go work at McDonald's. You can go start your own business online today.
I never had to. That's the point.
I know.
I used to cut grass, and my buddies. This was 1,000 years ago when dinosaurs roamed the earth. My buddies were making $1.65 minimum wage.
Wow.
This is how long ago it was. True story. I was 12 years old, and I cut grass for $3 for a yard, and I figured out I could cut the grass in 1 hour, so I was making double what my buddies were making as whopper floppers. So I've never been held to the standard of I am forced to do something.
Yes.
And you aren't either. You can choose to go do anything you want to do, boys and girls. This is still America.
That's right.
It's weirder America than ever before, but it's still America. This is The Ramsey Show.
Y'all, there's a lot you can't control when it comes to healthcare, but there is something you should check out that can help. Christian Healthcare Ministries. CHM is not insurance. It is budget-friendly, biblically based health cost sharing. That means a community of members helping share the burden of each other's healthcare costs. They help people just like you in all 50 states. So see if CHM could be right for your family. Learn more today at chministries.org/budget.
Ken Coleman, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Thank you for joining us. This is common sense for your life, common sense for your dollars and cents. It's called The Ramsey Show, 888-825-5225. If you are a new listener, and based on the ratings and the rankings that we get frequently, we have a whole bunch of new listeners. Thank you very, very much. We're in the top 15 podcasts in the entire world of any kind.
Wow, I need to call my mom real quick, Dave.
You should. You should call her right now.
She'd be so proud of me.
You should have called her earlier, but now you can call her. And now you got something to tell her.
Yes,
so
finally.
And so I mean, really, that's out of millions of podcasts, literally, without exaggeration. We're in the top 15, and we know all of these things. So we know there's a bunch of you new out there. Thank you. And if you're new and you don't know what we're talking about around here when we say code words, like Ramsey code words, like baby steps or debt snowballs or stuff like that, then it's pretty simple. Just go to the RamseySolutions.com website. It's free. Click on Get Started. It's free. And we'll help you figure out where you are and what your next steps are. And it's free. Did I mention it's free? So RamseySolutions.com, click Get Started, and we'll walk you through this process. Pam's in Flagstaff, Arizona. Hi, Pam. How are you?
I'm doing good, thank you. I'll try to make this quick. I'm 69, my husband is 70, and he's still working, but I want him to retire. And I have been putting money away, and my bank told me that part of our money is not covered by FDIC. I think I got that right.
Correct.
And I don't know what to do with over that.
Okay. Well, we've got $250,000 in coverage each, so $500,000 if it's got both of your names on it, in a typical bank. So you're sitting on over $500,000 cash?
No, no, we've only got like $350.
Okay.
But they told me that it only covers
the way you've got it set up. Then. Okay. You can just move the other, if you want to keep it all in cash, just move it to a different bank.
Under what, a savings or?
Yeah, just put it in this. I mean, what's it under now?
Savings.
Okay. I mean, hopefully, okay, there's two issues here. The question you asked and the question you didn't ask. Okay, the question you asked was, how do I get FDIC insurance? Each bank can give you $250,000. So as long as you don't have more than $250 in any bank, you have coverage. Total of all of your accounts in that bank. Okay? So if you have 10 accounts at the bank, they cannot total up more than $250 if you want FDIC coverage. Now, number two. There's three questions. Two, you didn't ask. Number two, I don't think your bank's in danger. I think your bank's fine. Okay? SVB Bank was an anomaly. It was a weird bank of a bunch of players, a bunch of venture capitalist goobs in Techville called Silicon Valley, and they were a bunch of high-tech, high-risk companies dumped a whole bunch of cash in there, and the bank was out of control. Your bank in Flagstaff, Arizona is very likely not out of control. I have more than the FDIC limit in my bank, and I am zero nervous about it. Okay? That's question number two. Now, question number three is, why are you sitting on $350,000 in cash? Why don't we invest some of it?
Because I didn't think, stupidity on my part, I didn't think at our age investing money would be a good idea.
Are either one of you ill?
That depends on which one you ask.
I didn't ask if you were a hypochondriac. I asked if you were really ill.
That's a great answer.
You're awesome. You're amazing, Pam. You're my favorite call of the day. I love it.
Well,
okay.
I did have cancer, and I had surgery, and I have to go back every 3 months to get checked.
Okay, but you're not You're currently in remission.
Yeah.
Okay. And is your husband ill? Seriously? Not mentally,
No, he's
physically.
not.
Okay.
Okay. Specify your question, mister.
Be clear, radio
You let
man.
her into
Be
that,
clear.
Dave. You let her into that one.
Be clear, radio man. Okay. All right. So here's the thing. There's a high likelihood. Let's pretend that you're 69 and you live 10 years. Okay. If you have $350,000 and it makes you 1%, that is $3,500. If you have $350,000 and it makes you 10%, that's $35,000. $30,000 difference for 10 years is $300,000 more that not investing the money could be costing you.
Okay.
You're losing about $30,000 a year.
Dang.
$2,500 a
right.
month. Okay. So
Now, do I put it in a CD? Or?
no. What I would tell you to
good.
do is I want you to sit down. I want you to go slow, okay? But I want to activate you to not leave it all in a bank making no money, okay? You basically buried it in a coffee can in the backyard is basically what you've done. You didn't mean to, but you did. And so I want you to make more on it. So I want you to click on a Smart Vestor at Ramsey Solutions. Sit down with an investment professional. Let them begin to teach you. Do not do this because I said do it. Do not do it because they said do it. Do it because after learning over a series of 2 or 3 meetings that you learn about a type of mutual fund that you can put this in, that you feel safe, you have peace about investing.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
And if you have peace about investing, then you can do the numbers that I was talking about. I'm not that much younger than you. I'm 62 going on 3, and all of my investments are in mutual funds and in real estate. None of it is sitting in the bank, I've got money sitting in the bank, but it's business money for the operations of this company, not money that I'm counting on for retirement. And so all of my long-term money that I'm going to be eating with is invested because I don't want to make $3,000 per 300. I want to make $35,000 per 300 per 300. And that's what I want you to learn about. But I want you to do that with peace and your husband to have peace about it. Now, if both of you are going to be gone in a year, it doesn't matter. But if you make it 10 years or 15 years, then it matters a lot.
Yeah, and I think the key here is with Dave telling you to sit down with somebody and they explain it to you, you can see the numbers, you can see the historic percentages, and stop paying attention to the headlines. I would sit with a pro and get your head out of the news, and then once you understand it and you're not gripped by fear, you're going to be in a much better position. I think that's good advice for all of us as it relates to investing. Stop paying attention to the news and sit down with real pros who know what they're doing and look at the history of the stock market. Look at the history of the returns based on the investment strategy that we teach. When you look at it, it's mind-blowing about how effective it is.
Yep, absolutely. Amy is with us in Dallas, Texas. Hi, Amy. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, Mr. Ramsey, Mr. Coleman. How are you guys?
Great. How can we help?
I think just, in a nutshell, I'm kind of a little scared on how to manage the balance between giving my kids every advantage in the world because I can, versus also making sure they learn the value of, how hard we work for the money that we have. And, I don't know, just that balance,
Well, I protected my kids from harm by protecting them from harm and by teaching them to work.
Yeah.
Both.
And I don't know, am I giving them a better advantage by paying for their school or, college, because that's going to be paid for?
Paying for their college doesn't ruin them if you've taught them to work. I paid for my kids' college, but all of them have really strong work ethic as adults. But but when you're 4 years old, by God, you clean your room.
Yeah. And let me add to this. Also, let them fail. Teaching them to work is one thing. Put them in situations to learn and try new things, whether it be an instrument or a sport, and let them learn how to fail. We have removed the pain of failure from these kids, and therefore they grow up with no grit. So they can't work hard because they have nothing to give.
Yeah, but we're not sending them to the salt mines.
No.
We're protecting
Please
them.
don't do that.
We love them. We're gentle with them. But when you're 4, you clean up your room. When you're 14, by God, you clean up your room. You know, I mean, this is it. This is the Ramsey Show. Ken Coleman, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, is my co-host today. Let's do a little mental exercise. Look ahead 90 days from now. It's July. You've got $1,000 sitting in the bank that you didn't have today. 2 of your credit card payments are gone. And you check out at the grocery store without having a panic attack. You know how that would feel? We call it financial peace. It's the first steps towards real wealth building and getting free from the debt monster. Some of you have never had that in your entire life. But today's the day you can take control of your money. It starts with Financial Peace University. FPU is our 9-week course that's helped millions of people beat debt, build wealth, and become outrageously generous. We're going to teach you everything about how to handle your money step by step so you don't have to worry about it anymore. The average FPU graduate has an $8,000 turnaround in just 90 days. They save $2,300 and pay off $5,700 in 90 days. $8,000 richer in 3 months. On your way to being Baby Steps millionaires. That means before summer break is over, you're going to feel completely different about your money. Financial Peace University started today at RamseySolutions.com/FPU. RamseySolutions.com/FPU. Kyler's in Salt Lake City. Hi, Kyler. How are you?
Good. How are you doing, Dave?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Hey, so I recently found out my grandpa passed away about 9 months ago, and found out through my dad that he had wanted to give the remaining amount of his money, his house, his cars, the total sum of that money to his grandkids. And so looking at what that would be, it's looking like it's going to be about $125,000 per grandkid. So to give you a little back sense of kind of where we're at, I'm married. I'm 22. My wife's 20. We just bought a house. We moved in about 2 days ago. We got married about 8 months ago, stayed with my dad in his basement for those 8 months, saved up money, was able to put it down on down payment, got a house with the ability to rent. And so that's covering about 75% of our mortgage right now because we do have a renter in there. So we have no debt. I have no school debt, no car debt. My wife doesn't have any school debt as well. And so we're kind of in this, what should we do with that much money? How can we use that to set us up? So just kind of wanted to see what you guys had to think about that, how to say about that.
It's a very good question, and you're very wise to ask that question. A lot of people don't. They just get the money, and then 2 years later, they wonder what happened to it. It just leaves, and we have no idea where it went. Happens to a lot of people. So good for you. You're way ahead of the curve. Sorry about your granddad.
That's okay. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Were you close to him?
I wasn't super close. It kind of got muffled 2 months prior to that. My mom had passed, and so it was kind of just this whole time of it. We didn't really know how to cope with any of it because things just happened so fast, and so it kind of got buried along with the rest of the way life was going. But we're doing really good now. So
married, got a house, lost mom, lost grandpa, all in 1 year.
Yeah, it's been a big year. It's been a big year.
Off the back end of this little thing called COVID. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys are strong. Good for you. Proud of you.
Thank you.
Okay. So how much is your balance on your mortgage?
So the house we bought was for $530,000. And we did it through an FHA loan. We did it through a 30-year mortgage. And our mortgage payment right now is
what is the balance on your mortgage?
It would be about $500,000.
Okay, that's all I need. And what do you make?
Yeah.
What's your household income?
So between my wife and I work in sales. She works in kind of the medical field. We pull in about $120,000 between the two of us.
Good for you. Okay. The shortest distance between where you are and wealth is to be debt-free and begin your long-term investing. Okay? And so you are debt-free except the house. Did I understand that correctly?
Correct.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. And do you have any money in savings at all?
We have about $6,000 right now. We put down our down payment about a week ago.
Yeah. Okay. So you need a fully funded emergency fund. You don't have one. That is 3 to 6 months of your household expenses. Okay. In your case, that's probably 20 grand. So we're going to use some of that money to round that out. And then I want you to be resetting your budget and paying your 30-year mortgage like it's a 15.
Okay.
And then I want you to start putting 15% of your income into retirement in 401ks, Roth IRAs, Roth 401ks, whatever you got available to you in good growth stock mutual funds. That's baby steps 1, 2, 3, and 4. You don't have kids yet, or you would have already told me. And so baby step 5 is kids' college. We don't have to deal with that today. You will in the future. And then baby step 6, and if you follow these baby steps, it's the shortest distance to wealth. That's why I'm always going to take you there. Okay? And where the money comes from doesn't change it. It's still the shortest distance. If you got a bonus at work of 120, it's the same thing as getting an inheritance of 120. It's just got different emotions around it. But the application of it mathematically to cause you to become wealthy goes in exactly the same place. And so we're gonna lead you towards paying off your house next. And so we're going to set aside about 20 of this for your emergency fund and a small miscellaneous spending around the house that you pay cash for. If you need to move up in car or anything like that, you pay cash for it. And then the remaining amount, roughly $100,000, is going to go towards this mortgage and reduce your mortgage. And then I want you to pay that mortgage off in about the next 4 or 5 years. Pay it off. Translation. You'll be 27 with a paid-for, by then, house worth $700,000. Translation, you're going to be a millionaire before you're 30 if you do what I freaking tell you to do. Okay? But if you go screwing around with what your broke friends tell you to do, you're going to end up with none of this.
Yeah.
But you're not, because you're the guy. This kid's sharp.
Oh, yeah. It's the right question.
He's a game on, man.
That's right. And what you've laid out in the baby steps for everybody who's new to the program and you're hearing these things, this is just a clear path. As Dave has talked about it for years, it's I can see this step, then the next step, then the next step. And that's the huge breakthrough for folks when they realize, wait a second, I can walk this through and I'm going to get there. But you start taking advice and strategies from other people who are broke, you get thrown off the path. This path, those baby steps work no matter what life throws at you. Yep. And that's the key.
Yep. And he's going to be a millionaire.
Oh.
If he does this. And then he's, and by the way, if you're a millionaire when you're 30, do you know what you're worth when you're 50? 10.
Yeah.
Do you know what you're worth when you're 70?
Yeah.
25.
That's right.
Million. Yeah. Dollars.
That's right. Because they're at the beginning of their earning potential. Right?
Well, and they're 22 and they make 120 grand.
Yeah, they're going to keep making more money.
Unbelievable. Fabulous. Yeah. Fabulous. And, so let's get the house paid off and use all of those house payments for building wealth. Keep your income going up during that time. Always be managing your money. Always be enjoying your money. Always be giving your money. And always be investing your money. And by the way, we've talked a lot about kids in this hour. Mm-hmm. So always be teaching them to work, age appropriately, gently when they're 4, not so gently when they're 14.
That's right.
Teach them to work, teach them to save, teach them to give, to be of service to the community, to be a giver, to be unbelievably generous, and teach them to spend and enjoy their money. Most people in America know how to do one of those four things. Spend.
Right.
And they're called congressmen. They don't work.
No. You're right about that. If you paid attention to the congressional schedule, it would blow your mind. It would make a lot of voters angry if they saw
have
how much
people
they
that work for them.
Oh yeah, staffers are doing the work. They show up for the vote and the
I actually have several
PR.
good friends that are congressmen, and
Except for
like,
Dave's friends.
Yeah, they're like, Dave, would you please stop wearing
saying
us
that.
out? I'm like, hey, you ran for
joined the
office.
club.
You got elected.
Right.
I mean, I can't. How does that take? How do I get the crosshairs off of you? I can't
true.
help you with that.
Guilt by
You
association.
signed up for this trip, man. All the Congress jokes work. We have to keep using them. This is the Ramsey Show.
Hey, it's Ken. If you love the show and want a deeper dive on your money journey, we have a weekly newsletter that gives you trending and helpful articles and tips on following the Ramsey way. Go to RamseySolutions.com today to sign up for our newsletter. Again, that's RamseySolutions.com to sign up for our weekly newsletter.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studios. It's the Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Ken Coleman, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, host of The Ken Coleman Show, is my co-host today. Thank you for joining us, America. 888-825-5225 is the number. Christian is calling from Los Angeles to start this hour. Hi, Christian. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Sure. What's up?
I have a career question relating to working in a family business. I'm graduating college in December, and I feel a lot of pressure from my family to stay in the family business, but I'm not sure that that's the best path for me, especially since I have like big goals of starting a family next year or getting married, more specifically, and moving out. I just don't think that it would be the right move. And so I was wondering if you had any advice on navigating that conversation.
Well, what has happened so far? I'm curious to know what's been said so far. Anything at all, or have you just kind of swept it under the rug?
No, there's definitely been some things said. Like, I've had conversations with my dad about what I want to do, and he seems to have an understanding of it. But my grandmother has said things as far as like, we're going to buy you out, and like, we're going to make you stay. Like, you're not going to be able to refuse it. And so it's kind of like that kind of pressure that kind of worries me of what it will look like.
So dad's okay. He certainly understands the direction you want to go, but grandmother's, she's rattling the saber a little bit.
Right. And I think it has something to do with, I am graduating college debt-free from a Christian university, which is pretty unheard of, rare, but they paid for about a third to a half of my education. I paid for the other half. And so, maybe it has something to do with that, but I'm not sure.
Well, I see that's dangerous to be assuming things like that, especially with your parents and your grandmother. The question is do you know what you want to do long term and why? Yes or no?
Yeah, I really love doing sales, and I've been able to do some sales inside of the company, and I would love to do that long term. But I would not be able to have or afford the life that I want to have by staying with the company.
Well, so here's the deal. You have to decide, what life do you want to live? And you're going to have to be okay disappointing some people on this journey. And that doesn't mean you're a jerk. It doesn't mean you're a twerp. It just means I want to go this direction. This is why I want to go this direction. I understand that you want me here, but I don't want to be a part of the family business. And you tell them as clearly as you can why, but you don't justify it, and you're respectful, and you go lead the life you want to live. Because I'm going to tell you something, if you don't do what you want to do, and you do what they want to do, this is a recipe for a lot of bitterness.
Right.
What's your degree in?
marketing.
Okay. And you want to go into sales and marketing.
Correct.
But your grandmother said that she's going to give you so much money that you can't refuse it. But on the other hand, you said there wasn't enough money working for the family business. I'm confused.
Yeah, I am too. I know what they would be, or I guess I'm just assuming that I would know what they would be offering me, and we would have that conversation once I get closer to graduating. I graduate in December. But
okay, so what do you think you can make going for work for someone else?
And starting off, I think their salary would be competitive with what I could make, around like 70.
So you think you can make 70 working somewhere else?
Correct. And I think that they could offer me that. I just don't think there's room for growth here.
Why?
Because it's a small business.
I think there's
so you're
something
in
deeper.
sales. Go make it a large business.
I think there's something deeper.
I thought you were a sales stud.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think you want to work
salary.
there, Christian. I don't think you want to work there. And I think this is a logical excuse that you're making
that is
to
wrong.
Validate why you don't want to work for them. But I think there's something deeper. Am I right?
Yeah, I think
you don't like
my main
you don't like
job-
the control, do you?
Yeah, I work in the same office as my dad, so
I think that's what you have to acknowledge.
Yeah, this hasn't got anything to do with the job or the opportunity. It's got to do with the family dynamic that you don't want to long-term engage in. You want to go be your own guy.
Yeah.
And that doesn't make you bad. It doesn't even make them bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've got family members that I love that don't work here. I've got family members that I love that do work here. And I love both of them. But that's the family dynamic. That's not the job.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's always been a struggle with having them have a say in what I'm doing and like my career, my life decisions.
Yeah.
And so I think a branch off from that is kind of what I'm looking for.
Yeah, I think you don't think you're going to feel good about yourself being continued. You think your dad's going to use his dad voice when he's at work.
Yeah, I mean, no, it's pretty separate as far as that. It's more so my grandma, like I said.
I can tell, yeah.
Yeah.
The Iron Maiden back there, yeah.
Yes.
I respect her beyond belief. She's the only person. She's given me all my Christian values. No one else in my family's Christian, and so I think that's another part of it, navigating that.
Yeah, but Christian, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. And I'm speaking from my own experience and my own family dynamic. You will eventually disrespect her. If you stay in this situation and she runs over you and all this tension that's underneath the surface, I'm just telling you, you will.
You can respect what she has done to get here and not respect how she would handle you.
Right.
And those are two different things. They're not mutually exclusive.
And I think the respect stays intact, Dave, if he decides to have a boundary there.
Christian, you've already decided not to work there. Quit calling it that the job is bad. Just say what it is and just go, I'm just not comfortable. I think I need to go make my own way. I'm going to feel better about me. Mm-hmm. And that's the truth. It's not that the job is limited because you're going into sales. Just go sell more. If you want to make more, go sell more. I mean, that's, the job's not limited. It's you're limited. But what you don't want to do is you don't want to be in office next to your dad. You chuckled after you said it. You don't want to deal with your grandmother's overbearing personality. You said it 3 times in the conversation in different ways. And that's okay. Yep. You can still love them. I'm not saying they're horrible people. You just don't want to work for them or with them. And so go do something else. Yeah. You need to do that for you and just for your own dignity. And that's the thing. Ken, one of the things we've discovered at Ramsey and we've discovered as we worked with small businesses all across America and Entree Leadership is a high percentage of small businesses are family businesses, by the way, privately held. And they usually have multiple family members working in them. It's not unusual at all. And they're only the family business portion of the business is only as functional as the family is.
That's right.
If the family's cray-cray at home, they're going to be cray-cray at work. I mean, it's pretty simple, you guys. And if they got control issues at home and, overbearing and controlling and overreaching, then they're going to be that way at work.
And I would say, Christian, go forge your own path, but don't act like it's never, because you may see the dynamics change where you could come back and be a part of the family business down the road when some of those dynamics change. Who knows?
A different version of you, a different version of them evolves. That's possible. Because you didn't say anything negative about their character.
No.
So that's good. You're in good shape there. Yeah, I think for now, I think you've already made your decision. Just be kind about it and gentle and vague. This is The Ramsey Show. If you're like most people, your home is your most valuable asset. And when you want to make improvements, it can feel like everything costs too much or takes too long. But something as simple as custom window coverings from Blinds.com can completely change your space and add value to your home. We've recommended Blinds.com for over a decade, so you know you can trust them. From blinds, drapes, and shutters to motorized shades, they make it easy and affordable to upgrade your entire home, and their team is ready to help with everything from design consultation to measuring and installation. Plus, there are never any misleading quotes or hidden fees. Everything's backed by their 100% satisfaction guarantee, and shipping is always free. See why Blinds.com is the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings. Visit Blinds.com to save up to 40% off everything site-wide. Go to Blinds.com for more information.
Welcome back to the Ramsey Show. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by Dave Ramsey in studio. We're here for you this hour. So, Dave, recent headlines say that it might take 3 months to land a new job in this new wave of layoffs. But I believe that you can beat that. I don't think that data is right. I think that you can land a better job a lot quicker given the demand that there is in the marketplace. But you've got to know what to do and how to do it. And a lot of it, Dave, comes down to one thing. And as I've taken calls on the Ken Coleman Show here on the Ramsey Show for years, it comes down to confidence. How do you get confidence to step out, to make a pivot, to not let a layoff throw you off, especially while you're in the baby steps? And the answer to that is extreme clarity. To know who you are, to know what you want to do, where you can do it, so that you have the confidence to never let the economy, inflation, anything coming your way throw you off. And so we're going to talk through that formula at my new event called Career Breakthrough. And our first one launches in just less than a month here, just a few weeks away, April 20th in Kansas City, Missouri. And we're going to be speaking, but I'm also going to be taking questions live from the crowd. And you've been at Building Wealth when John Deloney and I take questions live from the crowd. Something special happens when people in a room like that.
It's like freaking group therapy. I mean, you read their mail, and everybody else in the room needed to hear what you said to that guy. You know, what you said to that girl. You encouraged her. You said, okay, you don't believe in yourself as much as everybody else in the room believes in you. I've watched you do that, and all of a sudden their body language changes. They swell up with, like, I can do this. They start to believe. Or they're being just cray-cray, and you just call them out and go, hey, don't do that.
Right.
You know, because you're a truth teller, man. I mean, it's fun to watch you do this with these guys and unfold it. So if you really need to know exactly what your next steps are, Ken can tell you, and you need to be at one of these events. Whether you think you're losing your job, whether you've already quit your job, whether you just hate your job, whatever it is.
You want to increase your income.
You want to go do something you love and you hate what you're doing now. Yeah. All of these things, Kansas City, April 20th, just a couple of weeks from now, and then Chicago, May 16th, Atlanta, May 18th, and Dallas, Texas, May 23rd. It's only $50. You paid that for a pizza. So get
today's inflation, you did.
RamseySolutions.com/events. Get this done, because here's what you need sometimes. Sometimes you need someone to say out loud what way down inside you already know is true.
Yeah.
You're kind of like me. You don't really say anything that people don't already know.
No, not at all. No, it's exactly right. All we do is uncover it, and they're looking for permission.
All we do is say what you were already thinking, and we've gotten really good at it.
Why is there a fear, Dave, from people who are they're trying to get out of debt, they're in the baby steps, and they hear that you can make more money if you get a better job. They hear that the side job economy is great. They hear that freelancing's there, but it feels kind of scary to step into something else because they're in that gazelle intensity. What's the reason behind that fear? Because that's what we confront a lot.
Yeah. Whether you're doing the baby steps or not, I think it's just human nature. We all have a negative, a black cloud, a black dog, Churchill called it. that comes over you. It's the same one that says, okay, I'm going to get laid off. Automatically, what do people think? My next job, I'm going to make less.
Yep.
Instead of like, oh God, I'm finally free from these people. I can go make more.
Yep.
Because the number of times you go from 60 to 80,000 a year, or from 80 to 120 in a new job, it's not unusual at all.
That's right.
Because a lot of times you're more valuable than they've been able to or were willing to pay you.
That's right.
At the other place, and you just hadn't tested the waters in the marketplace. You go, dang.
That's exactly right. And that's what we're covering at this event, by the way. We're going to give you the courage, based on confidence, to walk forward and get it. Go get it. This is a great economy to make money right now, but we understand there's fear and doubt. So RamseySolutions.com/events. You can get the tickets there.
I always think about the old motivational guys back in the day. They would say things like, if money wasn't an issue, if you had all the money you needed,
right,
and no one would tell you no, what would you do?
Oh, the answer comes quick.
Yeah.
Everybody always has a quick answer when you remove
those
hurdles.
The other one, old motivational thing. I remember this clearly. A guy said this. He was talking about doing sales calls, but it also involves, you know what a sales call is? It's called an interview when you're looking for a job.
Right.
You're trying to make a sale.
Yeah.
Only you're the dadgum product, right? But he said, he paints this whole thing out about a sales guy fly into New York City to make the sale. And when he lands, his wife calls and says, I just got a letter that we got an inheritance of $2 million. And he goes, I don't even have to go make this sale, but I'm already up here. I might as well go.
Right.
So he kind of swaggers in, acts like he doesn't care because he doesn't, talks to them clearly, was kind to them, but talked to them about the benefits of the product, but was very overly confident, not arrogant, but just didn't have to make the sale.
Right.
Smelled different,
Yes.
Starving salespeople smell bad. And so they got a smell on them. You got a stink on you, man.
That's right.
You smell like a loser.
That's
smell
true.
like you're losing.
It's really
right?
true, yeah.
You got the smell on you. And so he walks in there, makes the sale, goes back to the hotel room. His wife calls and says, God, they made a huge mistake. It was the next door neighbor that got the letter, not us.
Oh, that is fantastic.
But I mean, what's the difference? The only difference is your mindset.
Everything.
It was a complete mindset
Between
change.
the years.
The sale was still the sale. The client was still the client.
It's true.
The interview was still the interview. The job hire was still the job hire. The only difference was he didn't think he had to do it, and so he walked in there with complete different vocal cord tenseness.
Yes.
His voice was deeper. Not high-pitched. When you get scared, you get high-pitched. And,
I know that's what I sound like. Yeah.
But I mean, when you get scared, everybody does. Your vocal cord, your octaves go up, and your body language changes, and you're weird, and fear does weird.
Yes.
When you're desperate, people can smell it.
Oh, for sure.
And they don't want to hire you.
No, not at all. That's exactly right. So it really is about confidence, and you get confidence from one place, folks, extreme clarity. We see people catch this in the baby steps. When they see the clear path, they go, oh, I can get out of debt. And they become confident and they walk it out.
There's a clear path to go getting a job, right?
That's right.
Walk them through it.
Absolutely. Well, so here's the deal. You got to know what you want, and you got to know if you can actually do it. So the stress for people is, I think I want this, but I don't know if I can actually pull it off. So what we start with is marrying those two things. We call it getting clear. This is what I want to do. Do I have what it takes to do it? In other words, do I have the talent where I can go get the skill and experience? That changes the mindset. Now it's possible.
Yeah.
And so then we go, all right, what is it I have to do to get qualified from an experience and skill set? And then we go, who are the people I need to know? Connections are everything that bring opportunities to us. And so when you understand that, your entire physiology changes, like you were saying in that story. I now know what I want to do. I know where I want to do it, and I know how to get there. That takes a person from being timid and doubtful to clear, bold, and courageous. And that's how you get what you want. That's how you get out of debt. That's how you launch and start a business and grow it. That's how you parent. That's how you win in your relationship. It comes down to, do I know who I want to be and why and how to get there?
Even kids and dogs can smell fear.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
They know it.
Yeah.
They know it.
We need more confident,
They know they got you
bold
muffled.
people.
But it comes from having a plan, knowing who you are,
That's
being
it.
comfortable in your own skin. And not, that guy, you know what? He had I don't care.
Right.
He had a confidence. I don't have to get this.
No.
I don't have to get this. It's all, don't sweat the small stuff, and it's all small stuff.
It is.
All right. Bradley's with us in Cincinnati. Hey, Bradley, what's up?
Hey, thanks for taking my call. Appreciate it.
Sure. How can we help?
So, went through Financial Peace University late last year, and got all that done. And we're working our budget. And unfortunately, my father has dementia, and so does her mother. And so we're trying to do the best we can with that right now.
I'm sorry.
My wife has had to go to part-time because she felt she needed to do that.
How can we help right quick before I run out of time?
So anyway,
What's your question?
Where she's putting 15% into for her retirement, and she's late to the game, so I helped her get there. But what I noticed through some calculations I ran on her paycheck the other day was that it's almost that she's about 22%.
Okay. You need to be at 15 or less. If you need to stop temporarily while you guys fight through some of these bad times you're going through, that's okay. But long term, 15% of your household income going into somebody's retirement. Buying a home is one of the biggest decisions of your life. You need a partner like Churchill Mortgage. Churchill is one of the highest rated lenders in the country, and they're Ramsey trusted because they do what's right for you. Churchill works with you to build a mortgage the Ramsey way, one that doesn't bust your budget, sets you up for financial success, and helps you get out of debt faster. Go to churchillmortgage.com today and get started. Ken Coleman, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Thank you for joining us, America. Join us anytime you'd like in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions. We do the show from 1 to 4 Central Time every day, 5 days a week, and we're on the glass in the lobby. Dr. John Deloney does his show on the glass in the lobby, and the Ken Coleman show is done on the glass in the lobby. So there's stuff going on all day long around here, but from 1 to 4, we're here live. Free homemade chocolate chip cookies cooked daily, and coffee and other goodies in the bakery, the Baker Street Bakery over here.
Great pastries as well.
Yes, good stuff coming. It's all free to our guests, and a great lobby experience where you get to see some of the history of Ramsey and all those kinds of things. And so, and then folks sit around and watch the show. There's usually 50 to 200 sitting out here, something like that. And the debt-free stage is here. And on the debt-free stage are Aaron and Jill. Hi, Aaron. How are you guys?
Good.
Hi.
How are you?
Welcome. Where do you live?
Council Bluffs, Iowa.
Fun. Welcome to Nashville. How much debt have you paid off?
A little over $253,000.
Love it. And how long did this take?
A little over 7 years.
Okay. And your range of income during that time?
When we first started, it was right around $80,000. Now it's around $150,000.
Okay. Cool. And what kind of debt was the $253,000?
That was our home, student loans, vehicles, credit cards.
Completely debt-free house and everything. Look at it, weird
Wow.
people. How old are you two weird people?
I'm 40.
37.
And you have a paid-for house.
Yes.
That's worth how much?
Right now, roughly $275,000.
Cool. How much have you got in retirement?
So I have a pension through my work. So I can actually retire in about 4.5 years. Then everything else on the side, roughly a little over probably $150,000.
Okay, cool. So you're about $500,000 net worth, give or take. Way to go. You're on your way to being a millionaire.
Yes.
Very good. Good for you guys. Well done. Well done. So tell us your story. What happened here?
So in 2013, she gave birth to our daughter, our middle child, and then she became a stay-at-home mom. And after she became a stay-at-home mom, her student loans kicked in, which was $500 a month. So we realized at that point in time how broke we were, and we couldn't even buy groceries, we couldn't buy the gas. We were a negative $1,000 a month just in our bills, and that doesn't even count groceries, food, nothing like that. So I just started working crazy hours, and I picked up every moonlighting position I can get. I'm a police officer, so I picked up every security job out there, overtime, you name it, and I was never home. And so she was pretty much a single parent raising our kids, and I just worked nonstop. And I did that for about 2 years, and I was like, I just can't keep up with this pace. It's killing us. And so I got introduced to you through actually one of our lieutenants that's recently retired, a millionaire, on our department. He's been following you for years. So he introduced me to you, and we jumped all in.
Okay, so you were working your tail off, but you're spinning your wheels.
I was spinning. I had no plans, no rhyme or reason or nothing.
It was just a revolving door.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow.
So,
Jill, you're at home with all these little kids. How scared were you?
It was intense. Yeah, there was a lot of kids, and then worrying about him on the streets.
Yeah, I do want to say thank you for how you serve.
Well, thank you. I
In
appreciate
your
that.
community. You put your life on the line, and that's impressive stuff, and it should be called out. But I want to ask you, so you hear about Dave, and you've been working crazy hours. As you're at this point, you're going, I can't do this anymore. Then you find out, I still got to work gazelle intense. So I'm just curious, what was the transition after you start to hear about the baby steps and you're fraying at both ends because of all the hours? What'd you do next?
So we knew a why at that point. And before, there was no light at the end of the tunnel. It's just, I'm just paying the bills, and this is never going to end. Mm-hmm. We have no way out at this point. And once I stumbled upon Dave Ramsey, now we had a purpose. We had an out, and people standing on this stage a lot of days, working 17, 20-hour days. That's helped me got through the process. And so we give all the credit and thanks in the world to you, Dave.
Well, I give it to you. You did it. You're the dadgum heroes. I just showed you how.
So you kept
I'm
pulling
sitting
those
over here
hours.
warm and dry. You're out there in the rain.
Right.
Yes. So I kept that up so we had all our consumer debt was about $78,000. And so we got that paid off in 19 and a half months because we went crazy. I paid my truck off, sold that, went and got a beater car that I drove for about 3 years till it blew up on me on the interstate. And we got everything paid off except our house in about 19 and a half months, and which allowed me to take a new position on an apartment. Department being a academy instructor, so which was Monday through Friday, weekends off. And so I got my family back.
That's awesome.
We saved our marriage. And
Your family got you back.
Yes.
Yes.
Wow. And then you could just go steady and chip away at the house.
Chip away, and it was totally worth it.
Rather than going different. Yeah.
So we probably would have got our house paid off if I kept that same pace up for probably a little under 36 months. So it actually prolonged it, taking this new position.
So what?
Yeah.
That's what you're supposed to do at baby
Yes.
step 3, 4. Baby step 4, 5, 6, you're supposed to be intentional, not intense.
Yes.
And that's what you did. You were intentional. Well done. I mean, it's 7 years and you're not 40 and your dadgum house is paid off. Shut up, okay? This is all right. Way to go, man.
Yeah.
Way to go. What do you tell people the key to getting out of debt is?
Don't talk about it, be about it. We deal with a lot of our friends, and we started this plan at the same time. We actually went through with it. We dedicated our lives, and a part of that's because we had to. We didn't have a choice.
Sacrifice.
It's big time sacrifice.
Yeah.
I mean, my wife was a stay-home mom for years, and she was a single parent pretty much because I was always out working. It's just working together to get this done.
Yeah, be about it. Don't talk about it.
Wow.
Jill, what do you tell people the key is?
Oh, that's mainly being a support for the process, and gosh, I don't even know. The whole process was a blur. You're going through it, and it's you have all the kids at home, and you're trying to chip away at the same thing, and it feels a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot. Was it worth it?
I think now, yes, because we are able to travel with the kids now, which is what we really wanted to do, and give them experiences. Yeah, absolutely. So I would say now, yes. If you ask me during the process, I would say no. Yeah.
Yeah, because you were hanging on by a thread.
You had 19. You had 19 months of doing this with great intensity of hell.
Yeah.
And then after that, you had another 5 years of just intentional plotting, and 7 years later, your house is paid off and everything.
Correct.
Yeah, that's yeah. So the hardest part was the 19.
Yeah,
Yes.
I would.
By
Yeah,
far, by far.
absolutely. Yeah, because he was gone all the time.
Yeah.
Working all sorts of shifts.
Yeah.
So.
That's what Sharon Ramsey would tell you. She said she was a single mom for a period of time there.
Yeah.
Because she's a work widow because we didn't have a choice.
Yep, that's exactly us. We didn't have a choice. So
But look at me now.
Yeah.
So there we go. All right?
Exactly.
It worked out, darling.
It did.
Yeah, that's what. We laugh about that all the time. We drove through an old neighborhood that we used to live in last night on the way home from a thing we've been on, and we're like, have these houses gone down, or have we gotten snobby?
Right.
Well, during this process, I actually took your financial master coaching training.
Yeah.
Because we actually started telling our friends about this process or listened to them kind of their concerns, and we showed them what we did. So we kind of stumbled upon becoming coaches ourselves. And so we've been doing this for about 2 years, coaching people. And so far, to this date, we've helped pay off, including our own debt, over $1 million with ours. With
Way
our
to go,
debt,
you
everyone
guys.
else.
All right, it's Aaron, Jill, Cale, Caden, Kinley, and Brooks from Council Bluffs, Iowa.
All right, ready?
House and everything, $253,000 paid off in 7 years. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
In 3, 2, 1.
We're debt free.
Yeah!
That's great.
Man, that's some hard work there going on.
Yes.
Got it done. Get her done. Be about it. Don't talk about it. This is The Ramsey Show. Ken Coleman, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Randy is with us in Pensacola. Hi, Randy. Welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Hello, Dave. How are you doing today?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
So am I. Hey, so today I just paid off my house.
Whoa! Yay to go!
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, and it's all thanks to you and the teachings that you provided throughout the years. Yeah, I also turned 63 today too, so it was a birthday gift.
Well, happy birthday!
Yes,
What's
sir.
the house worth, Randy?
Sitting right now at $430.
Excellent. How much you got in retirement?
About $350.
Okay, cool. You got other assets?
Well, yeah, of course I got 3 cars and whatnot, so I'm getting close.
Yeah, you're almost to that millionaire. Way to go, man!
I'm almost there, man. Thank you very much, and it's all thanks to you.
I didn't do it. You did it. You're the hero, man. Way to go.
Hey, so the question that I have today is, mistakenly, I opened up a Roth about 6 months ago and started putting and adjusted my 401k investments to bring it down to the match and then putting everything else into the Roth. Okay. Then I found out that I guess I need to keep the money in the Roth for 5 years or so. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but I'm trying to figure out at what point, if at all, do I start pulling out of the 401k and moving to a Roth or some other avenue. If that makes sense.
Okay. Number one, you're still working and you're still contributing, and now you're contributing to a Roth 401k with a match. Is that correct?
I'm doing a Roth in addition to a 401k.
Okay, your 401k does not offer Roth option.
Correct. So I've got a
You
Roth
sure?
that I've got opened up through a different broker.
Are you sure your 401k won't allow you to do Roth? Most of them do now.
Well, yes, Yes, it does.
Okay,
Yes,
so
it
there's
does.
two separate
But I
issues.
didn't.
Okay, there's the issue of what you put in from this point forward, and there's the issue of what's already in there. What's already in there is $350,000 in traditional, right?
Correct.
Okay, and then from this point forward, I would do everything as Roth. You have a mandatory drawdown called the required minimum distribution that now doesn't hit until you're 73, and you can pull that from traditional. You're going to have to start pulling it out at 73 anyway, even if you don't want to, on the traditional. You do not have a mandatory required minimum distribution, any mandatory withdrawals on Roth portions. So I'm going to do the Roth and let the Roth just grow and grow and grow and grow and grow tax-free. I would draw down for living at retirement on the traditional first before I draw down on the Roth.
Okay.
Now, but from this point forward, here's what's going to happen. You do your individual Roth IRAs. You make your 401k a 401k Roth for future contributions, not the past ones. You follow me?
Okay. Yes, sir.
Now, the matching portion by regulation, by law, has to be in traditional. So the part that they put in is going to continue to be traditional also. So you're going to have the 350 that's traditional and stays there, plus the matching portion from this point forward is going to be traditional. Then you're going to have whatever you put into your Roth individual and whatever you put into your 401k that's going to be Roth from this point forward. So you got a lot of different things going on here. And then when you reach the point that you actually are going to need to use some of the money, you would use some of the 350 or whatever it has grown to. If it's invested in good growth stock mutual funds, in 7 years when you're 70, it should be 700.
Yes, sir, and I'm looking forward to that. And as a matter of fact, I have another appointment with a financial planner here next week.
Okay. Well, make sure you're checking with one of our Smart Investor pros, okay?
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
Yeah, and just sit down with someone with the heart of a teacher. They can explain why I'm saying this, and then once you see that, you're going to go, oh, I get it. I see what Dave's doing now. But the tax-free growth of the Roth, you're going to put that off indefinitely. You may never use it. It may just be an inheritance to someone. And when it is, it's a tax-free inheritance to someone. That's why I want you to keep your hands off of it, because it's very likely that the 300 growing to 700, and just watching your budget, you're probably going to live on that money before you ever get into the other money. And you may very well never get into that other money. It may grow and be left as a tax-free inheritance. Where if you leave a traditional as an IRA or as an inherited IRA, it becomes taxable as your not as an inheritance tax, but as your income tax as your heirs pull it out. A lot going on there, but way to go, Randy.
Yeah, pays his house off, and it's his birthday. It's quite a twofer there. That's a good day.
Mikhail is with us in Knoxville. Hey, Mikhail, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave. Thanks for having me.
Sure. What's up?
My wife and I, Dave, we just started doing the baby steps, and, we're looking over our budget, and I'm just wondering, I'm kind of convicted about, tithes. Our tithes is our third biggest bill, if you will. I'm just wondering, do we pause that to, get out of debt and then pick it up later, or just, struggle with how to deal with that?
You don't have many bills.
I guess. I mean, that's one.
Or you got a lot of little bitty ones.
I have rent, and then car, student loans.
Okay. Well, you used some key words that I'm going to make sure I understood what you meant, but I think I know because I think it's tribal speak and I know what you're talking about. I'm convicted, and you use the word tithe. This is Christian lingo. Okay, agreed?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So evangelical Christians like you and me believe and teach that the Bible says to give 1/10 of our income to our local church. All right, as a beginning point in our generosity. And in Proverbs, it says multiple times that the tithe is first fruits, which Proverbs is written to an agrarian economy. First fruits literally means the first fruit that you pick out of the orchard, the first lambs that are born to the flock every year, the first 1/10 is holy and set aside unto the Lord. And so your giving comes off the top, in other words, before you do anything, 10%. Now, having said all of that, that's exactly what I do, and I have done for 40 years that I've been walking with God. I absolutely have never done it because, A, I thought God owed me something if I did. In other words, I was giving so that he had to give something back to me. That's not how this works. And I have never given ever because I thought it was like a law and I was keeping the law. I gave because I love God. He's been really good to me. And my loving Heavenly Father says, son, the best way to live your life is to be generous, and here's your starting point. And generous people have better lives than selfish people, and here's your starting point. And I give from that spirit, not from a spirit of I'm trying to keep somebody's rules. Okay?
Yes, sir. Yes,
so
sir.
Convicted, ick. I mean, I get what you mean. Your heart is being tugged. You've been taught that giving matters, and you want to stick to what you've been taught. That's what you're saying when you say convicted, but convicted is what you do with a crime. So I'm probably not going to go there. I'm probably just going to say, as an act of love and as an act of believing that my Heavenly Father, who teaches me to give, is going to cause me to have a better life if I'm a generous person, I'm going to give out of that. That's also why I overtip.
Yes, sir.
You do want to wait on my table.
Yes, sir.
And remember, you were taught this, so you understand. We don't want to leave a bunch of people out here and do too much Christianese, but it's considered the first fruits, right? You understand that, so you got to adjust everything else. Don't adjust the tithe, adjust everything else.
Yeah, if you get out of it a little bit slower because you're doing this,
yeah,
you're going to be okay.
Yeah.
But here's the weird thing. Generous people are much more attractive. They tend to get more raises. Mm-hmm. They tend to get more promotions. Because who wants to promote a selfish jerk? Oh my gosh. This is the Ramsey Show. Dave here. You can find all of our shows with the Ramsey Network app on your smartphone. It's the only place to listen to the entire back catalog of episodes. Download the Ramsey Network app in your favorite app store today. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studios, it's the Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. The Work Ramsey personality, Ken Coleman, is with me today. He talks to you about getting work you love and doing jobs that matter, doing a career that matters, if you want to use that word. And, hey, we're here to talk to you about your life and your money. It's a free call at 888-825-5225. Ken takes calls on the Ken Coleman Show every day. Broadcast as a podcast, 75 radio stations, and, of course, Sirius XM as well. And joins me a couple times a week here or there on this show. So thanks for being here, boys and girls. We're glad you're here. 888-825-5225. Bert is in Wichita. Hi, Bert. How are you?
I'm doing well, sir. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Well, sir, I had a question for you guys. We adopted a little girl with special needs here over a year ago. And during that time, I was able to find a job that I'd been looking for and really, really wanted. And now we're 6 months into this new position, and this little girl we adopted needs a lot more medical attention. And my wife is talking about wanting to move to a larger city where we could get some better quality specialists in healthcare. And I feel I'm struggling with it, trying to figure out, if this would be a smart move or not. And it, especially because of the job. I just started it, and it's something that I really wanted for a long time.
Yeah, that's pretty heavy. How far away is the city where the medical opportunities are better?
Well, it would be what she's currently talking about is about 3.5, 4 hour drive.
Yeah.
And we go there for appointments, right now, on a weekly to 2 week basis.
Mm-hmm.
So, it requires us to have some extra planning, take time off work, and for her job and mine, depending on who goes with her.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, I see the logic in her idea of wanting to move. It just, I'm struggling with it because of the position I'm in.
Yeah, because let's remove this unique challenge of your daughter's very important medical care. You're on the ladder that you want to be on. I'm guessing that you feel like this is going to take you somewhere where you want to go, or you're actually there now. Is that the case?
I'm kind of there now. Yes,
yeah.
Sir.
So
what do you do?
Yeah.
So I work in agriculture. I'm a district sales manager for a seed company right now.
Yeah. And this is pretty high up the ladder for you, or the top of the ladder where you want to be?
Well, it's maybe not the top, but it's a position that I've strived to get. And, it took a long time to find it and get there.
Right.
So
first thing I would be doing if I'm in your shoes, is I want to at least look at this city 3.5, 4 hours away, and I want to see in my industry what kind of opportunities are there, because you've got a very unique narrative to where you're not a flake if you were to leave this company 6 months in. So in the narrative from leaving them and what it looks like on your professional record or resume, plus joining another company, it's a really unique circumstance. So I want to at least see what my options are. I want to totally exhaust that to see that. Now, if it doesn't feel right, I'm also sitting down with my wife in this situation going, okay, she needs this medical care. We need to find some other ways to where I'm not having to take a lot of time off. And we're going to make some adjustments in our life so that I can stay put and keep growing professionally and take care of the responsibilities that I've got to take care of. And so I'm going to find some other ways, some support systems to be able to make that drive and do that. But I'm not going to pull up roots unless I can replace my income and my professional opportunity. That would be my position. However, let me just say this. At the end of the day, you have to do what's best for your family. And if this is a season of life where maybe you have to make some sacrifices, that may be the decision you've got to make too. I don't think this is clear cut.
What is the nature of your daughter's disabilities?
Well, so when we adopted her, we knew she had cerebral palsy and epilepsy. But when we got her back, we adopted her from Colombia. And we asked all the questions we possibly could, but they couldn't or didn't know or wouldn't fill us in on everything. So she's got a rare form of epilepsy, Lennox-Gastaut syndrome, and it's degenerative, is what we found out. So, and she just needs a lot more, almost 24-hour care than what we can give her in the little small town that we're at right now. And there's just
how old is she, hon?
She is, she just turned 9 right now.
And how long have y'all had her? You said 2 years?
Well, we've had her for about a year. It's taken almost 2.5 years to get.
Yeah. How old are you, Bert?
Get it figured out. I am 42, 40. Yeah, I think I'm 42.
Okay. I forgot. This is all running together. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. So here's what I have learned by having Dr. John Deloney sitting next to me on this seat for a couple of years now. I'm gonna channel my best Deloney for a second. Okay. He says that you had a picture of what this adoption was going to represent, that there were some challenges, but they were doable. That picture has been shattered. The challenges are greater than you thought, a lot greater than you thought. And so grieving that picture that you thought you had of this, adopting this sweet kid, giving her a cool start here, being able to take her out of the mess that she was in, and everything was going to be okay, and you were going to work through the challenges, then take the challenges and 2X them or 3X them, and now you've got a broken heart about the picture that you had. That's what he would say. Does that sound right?
Yes, sir. That sounds pretty close to exactly right.
Yeah. And then that goes with okay, and I just got this job.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I've been wanting this job. And so now I'm grieving that. And yet you're the kind of guy, I can tell by talking to you for just a few minutes, you're going to do what it takes to take care of this baby. You're really not arguing with your wife. It's just making you mad at life,
Yeah.
Because you're a guy who's going to do what it takes to take care of his family. So that's not in question. Now, I think Ken's right. What I would do is before I just completely go, this whole thing's blown up. It's not going to, everything. You might make 6 phone calls in the other city and land a very similar position. Mm-hmm. You don't know that yet. I don't know that yet because you hadn't tried yet.
Right.
So I don't know that your dream has to die where you are. Mm-hmm. It might go to the other place and flourish just as well, or something similar, or that scratches the itch that this scratches, but a slightly different industry. Yeah. I don't know whether you're in agriculture in that area, but you're within 30 minutes of the hospital instead of 4.5 hours. You're a good man, Bert.
Yeah.
You're a good man. You're going to do what's right, and it's going to be okay. And in 10 years, you're going to look back, and whatever you do will have been the right thing because you're that guy. This is The Ramsey Show. Ken Coleman, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Thank you for joining us, America. And more of you are, whether it's talk radio, 680 talk radio stations. We're the second largest talk radio show in America and have been for many years. Thank you for that. TBN now carrying the show. Many of you watching and joining us there for the very first time. Thank you for that. Of course, Sirius XM and every version of podcast out there, whether it be Apple, we're number 15 in the world, or 13. Did we get up to 13 in the world? We got up to 13.
It bounces around. We're in that range.
Yeah, right in there. And so thank you for that. And all of this happens because of you guys, because you share the show. You tell people where to listen or where to watch the show. Big deal on YouTube. 1 billion downloads now.
Wow.
1 billion downloads. That's hard to get my head around. So thank you guys for all that. Share the show if you're listening. Share it. You can do it by link or just tell somebody where you're watching or listening. If you're listening on talk radio, you share it by saying, hey, I listen to such and such a radio station. Or click on the link to share it if you're podcasting or YouTubing or whatever. Subscribe to the show. If you're in a digital setting where you can click the subscribe button, that makes a big difference and pushes the show out in front of more and more people, and it's continuing our growth, and we appreciate the opportunity to help more and more people because you shared it, because you subscribed, and because some of you left a 5-star rating. 1 stars aren't helpful. Mom said if you hadn't got anything nice to say, don't say nothing at all. So just to go ahead and leave your 5-star rating or just move right along and do something else with your little time, okay? But we need your help. Thank you for all of that. Thank you very much. Hey, the Spring Building Wealth Live Tour is almost over. We got 2 more stops. You guys have given us sellouts in every city. Thank you so much. In exactly 3 weeks, you can join me, George Camel, Rachel Cruz, and Jade Warshaw in Salt Lake City on April the 24th. And then our event in Anaheim, California, May the 2nd, almost sold out. Don't want to wait much longer. Those tickets are almost gone, and that's going to include Ken Coleman to my right, Dr. John Deloney, and Jade Warshaw as well. So you want to come ready to go. The venues are packed. Get there early. Get ready to change your life and get you a good seat. Everybody's feeling the effects of inflation, and we're going to walk you through building wealth in America today in 2023 in this current weird and wacky time that we live in. It still does work every time. April 24th, Salt Lake City, Anaheim, May 2nd. Tickets are $49 each, and they're going really fast. Go to RamseySolutions.com/events. All the VIP and Platinum have sold out months ago, but the general admissions are still available, and you get there early to get you a good seat. Elaine is with us in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Hi, Elaine.
Hi.
What's up?
What I'm calling about is my stepson, whom I love as much as I do my own son. We've been very close, and he has come to me for some money, a large sum this time, and I just don't know if he's ever going to learn how to do his money. I don't know what to do.
How old is he?
I want to help him.
How old is he?
62. I'm 83, almost 84.
Wow.
I know I'm old.
No, Elaine, you sound like you're 45.
Yeah, and when I had a stepson, I didn't have 62 in my head. Okay. So how much large sum is he asking for?
$69,000.
For what?
Well, he gave me a list of bills, and for mortgage payments on his house and 10 acres, and mortgage payments on some land, and credit cards, and student loans, and a truck.
Okay, if he's 22, I kind of get it. I'm having trouble wrapping my head around how you're 62 and you still ask mommy for money. I'm really struggling with that. What's his problem? Does he not work much?
He works all the time, and his wife works.
What do they do with all their money?
That's one question I did not ask him, and I should have when we sat down to talk about this.
Yeah, you know what he's going to say? I don't know. Because he doesn't know. He doesn't
Probably,
know.
Yeah.
He has absolutely no plan. Because no one plans to make a mess like he has made.
True.
So
That's
how
true.
much money have, how long have you been giving him money?
I've given him money ever since his dad died, but, off and on, but it's been small amounts, $12,000,
How long?
$25,000.
How long?
About 9 years.
Yeah, okay. And how much money do you have, hon?
Well, my husband, and I loved him dearly, he left me a trust. And right now in it is $335,797. I have Social Security.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right.
So out of the trust, I get monthly. I get $2,800 a month.
So where are you
And then
going to
my
get
Social
$69,000?
Well, I'd have to take it out of this trust.
Oh, you could take it out of the trust. Okay. All right. So, and you're 82, and are you in ill health?
Oh, I'm 84, almost 84.
Are you? You sound like you're in great health.
Well, I've had a heart attack and a couple of light strokes, and I've been diagnosed with severe degenerative disc
So what
disease.
happens to this?
But other than
What happens
that,
to
I'm
this?
fine.
What happens to this trust when you pass?
He gets it.
He gets it. There's no There's no other siblings or because it was in his dad's name before.
The other sibling is out.
Okay. Why?
He filed a lawsuit on me. He filed a lawsuit on me to get the estate and my home.
Oh, so you wait a minute. So the trust you're leaving to the stepson, you don't have. You said your own, so you don't have a son.
Well, we went through the courts and we bought his older brother out.
But do you have any? Do you have any children?
I have a daughter and a son.
Why are they not getting part of the trust?
Well, because it was made out to my husband's sons.
Okay. All right, because it was his money. Okay. It was his money, and he wanted it left through to them after you pass. I got you.
Yes.
Okay, and then one of them's out because he tried to mess you over. I got you. Okay. Wow. Okay, so here's what you can do. I don't know if you will because you're a very sweet lady, and I don't know if you're too sweet or not. I want you to be so sweet that you love this 62-year-old better than you have loved him, because by giving him money, you have not been loving him well. You've allowed him to continue to misbehave. You gave a drunk a drink. Does that make sense? And you know
really
that. That's
does.
why you called me. That's why you called me, because you know that. Oddly enough, I'm his age, And that's weird. Okay? That's so weird. But anyway, so the thing is, anytime you've got someone who's perpetually coming to you for money and they and you give them money and it doesn't help them, then you become, and nice people are who does this, not mean people, you become what we call an enabler. You're giving a drunk a drink. And so you've enabled him, and he's gotten bolder and bolder and bolder as he's gone along. And so here's what you say. I talked to my financial counselor, because you did, I'm him. And he said, I don't have enough money to give you the $69,000, because you don't. You don't have that much money. You need the money that you have for your life. Now, if there's money left over when you're gone, you can leave it to him. That's fine. But you don't have $69,000 to give him. Even if you did, it wouldn't be good for him. It's not proven to be good for him in the past. So what I would do is this. I would offer to help him as he goes through Financial Peace University, and I'm going to pay for it and give it to you for free. I'm going to put you on hold, and Austin's going to give it to you to give to him. If he goes to the class and documents to you that he pays off a bill, you will match him up to what he pays off. And so instead of $69,000, he's going to get $30,000 if he changes his habits and pays bills off. And if he goes through this class, if he doesn't do those things, he gets zero until you die. Ken Coleman, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author of the book Paycheck to Purpose, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. In the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage, Bill and Amy are with us. Hey, guys, how are you?
Good, how are you?
We're doing great, thanks.
Good.
Well, honored to have you. Where do you live?
Folsom, California.
Okay, which is near?
Sacramento.
Sacramento, gotcha. Yeah. Okay, welcome to Nashville.
Thank you.
Good to have you. And how much debt have you paid off?
A little over $122,000.
Good. How long did that take?
43 months.
Good for you. And your range of income during that time?
We started at 130 and ended up at 170.
Cool. What do y'all do for a living?
I work in health administration.
Mm-hmm.
And I work in the energy sector.
Oh, very cool. Good to have you guys.
Yeah, thanks.
All right. What kind of debt was the $122,000?
Oh.
Well, $80,000 was my student loan.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had a car loan and, of course, credit card debt.
You were kind of normal.
We're very normal, yes.
Just normal people.
Yeah.
And then you figured out normal sucks. I don't want to be normal anymore.
Yes,
Pretty
that's
much.
very true.
Yeah, all right. So tell us the story. What happened got you on this Ramsey stuff?
Well, it happened back a while ago in 2006. My husband worked in the mortgage industry.
Mm-hmm.
We had just bought our first home, and he lost his job. Of course, everything when the crash happened. So we tried to stay afloat as much as possible. We had our first son, Justin, and we realized that we couldn't make ends meet. So we ended up filing bankruptcy and having to short sell our home. That was probably the most humiliating thing we've ever had to go through.
Amen.
We went through that. We moved to an apartment, had our other son, and tried to rebuild our life. Bought a beautiful home in Folsom and saw the same thing happening again.
Uh-oh.
And we're like, okay, this can't happen again. I don't want to feel that. We can't disappoint our family and our kids, and we need to figure out how to do this right. So I asked my brother for help. I said, hey, he's always been really good with money. Do you want to sit with me? Can we figure out this budget thing? And he's like, well, have you heard of Dave Ramsey and Financial Peace University? And I'm like, no, I haven't. He's like, well, let's start. So we bought the DVD set. I brought home the workbooks, introduced you to my husband. And we literally went, 0 to 60 in a matter of minutes.
You were ready.
Yeah,
you were sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Exactly. We now go to work for ourselves and not for Capital One or whoever we owed. So it feels amazing. And so that was our huge turnaround for us, and we will never go back again.
So, Bill, she comes home with these DVDs from her brother.
Well,
What did you say?
Well, at first when she told me about the DVD set, she was all, "You got to hear this guy, Dave Ramsey," and I was like, "Oh God, here we go. It's another one of those messages." But once we started listening to the discs, it actually was common sense, and it's stuff that we grew up with. Going, hey, I don't even know why we're not following these principles. And it wasn't until then that we got together and we're looking at our budgets, and that was a surprising moment too, because when we figured out how much we were in debt, really, I mean, because for us, we just wake up, we're in the routine, we go to work, we come back, but after all that long work, you kind of feel like you need to reward yourself, right? So we went out there, and without even thought, we're going out to dinners, we're just spending like crazy. So now looking at our budget and our numbers, it put it all in perspective for us. We're like, oh my God, we got to get and follow the baby steps. And ever since then, we've been rocking it. I did second jobs, second and third jobs.
Yep.
And we pulled it through, and it was, pretty hard work. But at the end of the day, this was our goal, to be on this stage and to actually, just let everybody know, if we can do it, anybody can do it. You just got to put in that effort. The same period of time that goes by for everybody else, where you're waking up in that routine and you just don't know how to get out. We did that little extra work, but at least now we have a purpose of why we're busting butt to go out there and just kill it. Because at the end of the whole thing, really now we're feeling the peace. Amy couldn't even sleep at night half the time worrying about the bills. So now it's really nice to see her just relax, and life is totally different.
So here's what I want people to hear. They heard you both say you worked multiple jobs.
Yeah.
So I want to know what you did, because this is the kind of stuff that people need to hear, because you just simply said, we are going to work. And I'm guessing you didn't have a problem sleeping when you're working all those extra jobs either. Right?
No, not at all.
You're tired.
Yeah. So what'd you both do? Give us those extra jobs.
Yeah. So I worked at a restaurant. I worked a hostess job, and I actually got tips. I made so much more money than he did in his retail job. He was like, I should have done that. I ended up getting a promotion at the restaurant and a raise. Like, I was like, this is not even my job. Like, this is just so I can get extra money. Right. But it ended up being a lot of fun. It was a lot of work. Worked every single day for 60 hours, 70 hours a week. And it just was, but it was totally worth it.
What'd you do, Bill?
Yeah, I was working retail, and then also on the weekends when my friend needed some help. He owns his own electrical business, so he would call me, Bill, do you want to come out and work? And we would just go out and nail it. So every little bit of time. And the thing is that we supported each other. So when she had to go to work, I would take care of the house, vice versa, doing the cooking, taking care of the kids, all of that. But at the end of the day, it was all worth it.
And it's not forever.
No, that's right.
It was just until you get done.
Yeah.
And now you're free.
That's what I wanted to ask. How long before you feel the emotional momentum of working those crazy hours, you go, okay, but we're at least knocking out these debt snowballs one at a time? I mean, how long before you realize this is worth it?
The biggest hurdle was the student loan, because it was so large. It was great doing the little ones. We're like, oh my gosh, we totally got this, And then the last year, it was like, okay, we just got to go full board. And we just worked. And every time I made that payment and saw it go down, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's even lower than it was before. And it was that momentum of we're almost there. It just seeing the little pieces fall apart and then get to the big one and then slowly chip away at it. That was very rewarding. Very rewarding. Yeah.
How much of the 122 was the student loan?
80,000.
80, okay.
It started 50, but I've been paying on it for 20 years, and it grew to 80.
That plan worked.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. What do you tell people the key to getting out of debt is now that you've done it?
You're never too old. We still feel like we're late in the game, but we have lots of time now to catch up. It's if you don't start, you're never going to be in this place, and it's an amazing spot to be in.
Very cool. Yeah. Proud of y'all.
Yeah.
Well done.
Thank you.
You're very neat people. A lot of fun watching you. It's very, very good. I had the opportunity to start over in my 20s from a bankruptcy, as you may know, and it is no fun.
Yeah.
It is absolutely no fun. And you guys did the same thing. You had a little delay before you did it, but we did the same exact thing. We reached the point we said, okay, this plan's not working. We need a new plan. Keep doing the same thing over and over again, expect a different result. That's the definition of insanity. And you came to the same conclusions that Sharon and I did. We got to change something. And don't really care what anybody thinks at that point. We're not taking a poll.
No.
We don't care if you like our plan. We're going to do it. And you're willing to do anything, even talk to your brother about it. I mean, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
So I'm sure he was cheering you on and happy for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good.
We towards the end, we paid off everything in October, and that's when I think karma caught up. I don't know what caught up with us, but my sister ended up passing away unexpectedly, and
oh my goodness,
my got in a car accident with a hit and run, and his car died. And I mean, we had just started our emergency fund, so we're both looking at each other, going, "Are you freaking out?" He's like, "No." I'm like, "Are you freaking out?" I'm like, "No." So it was just that piece where we're like, okay, we have money in the bank. We can help, with my sister's celebration of life. We can cash flow 2 cars. We would have never been able to do that. We would have been such a more horrible situation if we weren't.
One more mess on top of the mess.
It would have been, yeah. So it's really brought us a lot of peace.
Yeah, way to go.
Yeah.
All right, we've got a copy of, we've got the Live and Give bundle for you, the copy of the Total Money Makeover book for you to give or enjoy, Baby Steps Millionaires book to give or enjoy, and of course, Financial Peace University, which you've been through, and you can give that to someone now and pay it forward. Let's bring the young guys up and tell us their names and ages.
This is Justin. He's 14, and I have Benjamin here at 11.
All right, very cool. All right, it's Bill and Amy, Justin and Benjamin from the Sacramento area. $122,000 paid off in 43 months, making $130 to $170. Lots of extra jobs. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
All right, everybody, in 3, 2, 1. We're debt-free!
Yeah! That's how we do it. Woo! I love it. This is the Ramsey Show. Our scripture today, Romans 12:2. Don't copy the behavior and customs of this world, but let God transform you into a new person by changing the way you think. Then you will learn to know God's will for you, which is good and pleasing and perfect. The old version that I have memorized says, be not conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. General Patton said, if everyone is thinking alike, then no one is thinking. Amen to that. Group thinking is not thinking. Ken Coleman, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Michelle is in Hawaii, Maui to be precise. Hey, Michelle, how are you?
Hi, Dave. Doing good.
Good. How can we help?
Good. So I have a question. Our CPA has suggested that we get a cash balance plan. I don't know what that is, if that's a good idea, so would like some help.
Who has suggested this?
Our CPA.
Your CPA, okay, has suggested you get a cash balance for what?
For, we've maxed out our 401ks for the year.
Mm-hmm.
We've contributed the most to our IRA.
Mm-hmm.
So that is just something she suggested we look into.
Okay. Are you self-employed?
We are, yes.
Okay. I think she's talking about setting up a defined benefit plan. How many team members do you have?
How many employees do we have?
Yes.
Or, we have about 8.
How long have they been there?
From 1 year to 5 years. And then my husband and myself that are on payroll.
Yeah. Okay. And so you have a 401k at the company?
We do, yeah.
And you've maxed that out. Okay.
So we've maxed that out.
Okay. I have chosen not to do what your CPA is suggesting My 401k is maxed out. My Roths are maxed out. Everything's maxed out. And I have not done any defined benefit plans or any other internal pension plans because of what it would open me up to in terms of the contributions I have to make to the team, number one. But then in addition to the match that I have in their team's 401k, number two, there's so many restrictions and so many regulations on when you can access that money and what you can do with that money that I didn't care for the lack of freedom. So I have avoided this.
Okay.
And you can certainly do what you want to do. If you want to continue to investigate it, what I would do is start to talk to someone in the investment advice world. Click one of the SmartVestor pros at RamseySolutions.com, the people we recommend. I think they will tell you the same thing I did. Sometimes, too often, CPAs, people in that world, and I come from that world because I'm a math nerd, the financial world, the CPA world, sometimes we get all caught up in the mathematical gymnastics, and we enjoy finding products that will do these gymnastics. And but then when we put those products out in the wild, in actual real life, they end up sucking pretty badly. The gymnastics of the math is kind of a brain tease, and it's kind of fun to think through. Ooh, that's an unusual way. Okay, we've maxed this out. Here's a new trick we can do. But usually when I get down in those things, you can get stuck in them. I mean, you can get stuck in a big hole there. And I've done that a couple of times over the years in business with some legal advice that was that, kind of like setting up structures for companies and that kind of stuff. Really made huge mistakes in that regard. I've not made the mistake you're getting ready to make, though. That's a new one. I avoided it because I saw the same signs around it. And so at some point you reach a point, I've maxed out the normal stuff, the easy to understand things, the simple things, and the rest of it I'm just going to end up paying some taxes on. Oh, by the way, if you buy real estate and it goes up in value, you do not pay taxes on the increase in value until you sell it. So real estate grows tax deferred. It's called a capital gain. Oh, by the way, so does a low turnover mutual fund. And it's real simple. Like I've got money in index funds because they're low turnover. I've got money in real estate, and I don't pay any taxes on any of the increase in my net worth because I don't cash them out. I don't sell them. Now, if I sell one of those mutual funds or one of those pieces of real estate, I will pay taxes on the gain. But I can grow wealth without paying taxes and without getting caught in one of these products or processes that are in my opinion, mathematical gymnastics. So I don't do them, Michelle. And you can learn about it further and decide if I'm crazy or if your CPA is just caught up in that. I don't think your CPA is a bad person. I just know that type of person, those of us that love math, will do something just because it's fun with the math if we're not careful. And that'll get you into a mess. Lalani is with us in Wyoming. Hi, Lalani. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Well, I have a question about my timeshare. I've been trying to get rid of, can't sell it. I had an exit team, but they failed to exit me. And so I'm wondering if I can just quit claim deed.
Problem is you don't have a deed.
Is that different than a warranty deed?
A quit claim deed is different than a warranty deed, but you don't have a deed to your timeshare.
Oh.
You just own a portion of 1 week or a portion of a year or whatever. And, the timeshares are what those of us that hate them, we call them legalized fraud. It is the worst business on the planet. They screw more people than anybody else. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry the exit didn't work. We've worked with companies trying to get people out. They got in trouble. I mean, that industry is filthy. It's a filthy, horrible business. And you should, time someone says timeshare, run out of the room like your hair is on fire because it's getting ready to be. Somebody's getting ready to light your freaking hair on fire. Get out of there. So I truly do not know a good way to get out of a timeshare, but quit claim deeding it won't work because you don't have a deed. You have to have an ownership position, and with a timeshare, you don't technically have an ownership position. You have a contract. And that's different than an ownership position. An ownership position where you have a deed is recorded at a courthouse, and there is a deed on file with the Register of Deeds, which gives you the ownership position. Ken, this timeshare thing is just a debacle.
There's powerful people that are protecting this scum, and that's what's really going on. It is a system product, and you're a victim.
Very lucrative.
It's very lucrative.
It makes them billions and billions of dollars, and they keep screwing consumers hand over fist. And just stay away from anybody that says timeshare. Horrible product.
Yeah.
Did I mention that it's horrible?
Oh, yeah.
Was I clear? I hope I was clear. And if you sell timeshares, you are by definition scum. I hope I was not unclear.
I think you got that one.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
If your little boy sells timeshares, tell your little boy to get a good job and quit screwing people. Seriously.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Well, they're protected by legislatures in state and in the federal government because of the money that they're donating.
And they've even gotten some of the media on their side.
Without
they have
question.
dropped so much coin into attorney generals' pockets.
That's right.
They've dropped so much coin into the media's pockets. It's unbelievable. Yeah, they are filth, trash, and nastiness. I'm so sorry, Lilani. I don't know how to tell you to get out of it these days. There was a period of time that we were able to get a whole bunch of people out with the exit programs. The exit programs have fallen apart. There's a few of them doing it still and doing it well. You might get a good attorney, sometimes a good attorney that will sue their butts off for the fraud that they conducted on you. They'll probably find a hole or two in the fraudulent sales presentation, and sometimes a good attorney can get you exited. You might try that, but you're going to write some checks. You're going to spend some money to get out of this mess. I'm so sorry. You can't even give them away.
No.
It's awful. And I don't know who you'd give them to. Who would you give them to? Somebody you didn't like?
I think so.
Gosh, my worst enemy. Here's my timeshares. Ugh. That puts this hour of the Ramsey Show in the books. We'll be back with you before you know it. In the meantime, remember, there's ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus.
Hey, it's Ken. If you like what you heard in this episode and want to know more about getting started on the Ramsey baby steps, go to RamseySolutions.com and click on the Get Started button. We'll help you figure out the best next step for you based on your specific situation. Again, that's RamseySolutions.com and click Get Started.